everyone. This is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today, we're going to be talking about selling the city market. So if you have a great consumer product that you think should be in their stores, this little training will give you some things to think about in regards to city market. With that said, let's get started on today's training. So let's talk about your local and regional grocery chains and how to sell to them and some quick tips and strategies. So if you have a great product that you believe is perfect for a grocery chain in your area, they're smallish, maybe they have 30, 40, 50 stores, something like that. We're going to talk about that today and support you and things to think about and how to deal with them. And maybe some of the differences as well in regards to selling to the bigger guys versus these types of regionals. Basically, these grocery chains that are smaller to mid-size are retailers that basically are looking for interesting innovation for the local regions. So whatever's hot or interesting in that particular region that they are working in, they're interested in that, right? So obviously, if they're not global, they don't need to only focus on a mass audience, meaning that they really care about their niche, right? So if it's on the East Coast versus West Coast, they care about different things, different times of year and so forth. So be aware of that. They definitely are more focused on only what matters in their regions. And it sounds silly, but it's actually important to the buyer. The buyer is really just looking for, how can I sell more stuff to a particular audience in a particular area that matters. So that's something to explore, get to know that particular grocery chain and understand who their audience is. The other thing is that they usually have a way for you to sell to them on a local level, meaning you can go store to store and usually open up accounts. The reason I say that is because you're dealing with perishable foods. So that's something to consider. Also, that means that you could literally go in your car, bring your product samples and so forth and say, I'd like to speak to the buyer for this particular store, see if you can open up some accounts. When they have a decent number of stores they're responsible for, they usually always have buyers for all of their stores. So you can sell them individually, but you don't sell that much. And so our recommendation is to learn how to go after the buyers, because they'll give you the larger purchase orders. And when I say buyers, they're usually on a corporate level where they're buying for all of their stores. That's where the real money is versus opening up accounts. It's a lot of work, effort, and so forth. So if you can do that's always an ideal thing to do. And that really matters to those of you who it's your personality. Some of you don't mind getting in this car and driving around and trying to open up accounts. Others detest that concept. Personally, I'm trying to make money as fast as possible. I'm always going to try and go directly to the buyers because one buyer can buy stuff for all of their stores, and that's a big deal. However, if you're not getting anywhere with the corporate buyer, maybe you can start opening up accounts and then go back to that buyer. That's the other thing I would tell you. Sometimes you go to the corporate buyer, they say no, not interested, but then you can maybe open up a couple of accounts in certain areas. You show proof of concept in their stores, and then you go back to the big buyer. That is a way to handle grocery chains. They love that. The final thing is based on the type of products in stores, definitely do your market research. These buyers have seen it all. That's all they do all day long is see food products and so forth, but don't ignore these grocery stores for other types of products, and also do a little bit of research to see what is going to fit in their stores that is idyllic for them that they haven't already been selling. You got to understand, I mean, if they're selling the same thing all the time, they don't feel like filling out paperwork to add new vendors, right? So if you're walking around, look and see, is there like a hole in their assortment? Is there something they're not selling that you could take of your products and put it in their stores? They love that. They love it when you think it through a little bit and figure out, okay, you're not selling this type of salt, or you're not selling this type of thing. And maybe that'll open up that account. So if I was to give you advice, is to think about, what would you do to get the buyer enticed to get started with you, not throwing up all of your products onto this buyer. I'm just saying it jokingly, but ultimately it means if you have a lot of products, you're not showing her a lot of products. Come up with a concept for her, and that would make her happier. Her equals the buyer. So anyways, I hope that gives you some ideas on opening up grocery accounts in your local and regional chains. If you want to learn exactly how to talk to buyers, how to get them to buy, what words to use, how to get them to give you orders faster, all that stuff, please take a look at what we're up to at retailmba.com. We are a retail consultancy, and we're also a rep agency, and we've been helping people get their products into stores for a lot of years and had tremendous success. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA. Hope that helped.